All right. It says we are live now. We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Collect All Monsters, the Make a Monster Model Kit Chat. Oh my God, man. We've been talking about model kits for a lot on Collect All Monsters, on our main show and supplemental videos, whatever. There's no escaping model kits because they're so amazing, they're so awesome, and they cover kaiju that a lot of these big companies do not touch. So we're going to talk about these great model kits, but I am not alone. I have some great artists that work on these awesome treasures from Japan. These great model kits. These model kit extraordinaires. Now, first and foremost, let me introduce one of our great co-hosts on Collect All Monsters. He's a great photographer, but you all already know him as a great modeler and artist himself when it comes to model kits. The one and the only David Dopko. How you doing, David?
What's up, Leslie? What's up, guys? How's it going?
What's up, Dave? Hey.
I'm so happy to be here with the people that inspire me to do better. And, a lot of you guys have taught me a lot of cool stuff. And Leslie, thank you so much for hosting this. Couldn't ask for a better host. And I just want to give a quick shout out to a bunch of fellow modelers who hopefully are in the chat and will be involved in a future show, I hope. So let's go ahead and read off some names. Robin Kwok, Charles Blankenship, Vince Elliott, Doc Mack, John Legrand, Ryan Mitchell from the UK, Nikolai Falcone Punchi, Bill Gudmanson, and Bill Jones. And if you guys have any other people you'd like to shout out to, other kaiju modelers in the fandom, please do that when Leslie introduces you too. There's a lot of cool modelers out there, and I hope that we can give you all some
tips
and some tricks of the trade. So, thanks, Steve.
Hey. First of all, I cannot believe I'm sitting amongst this group of folks who, to say they're talented would be an insult. They're legends, and I'm honored to be included amongst you all. So this is a real privilege for me today, sincerely.
Thank you.
You are welcome, David. I knew of all of you before we met and became friends. And this is the first time meeting Mark today, so I'm super excited about that.
Me too.
I'd like to give a shout out to two of my favorites who aren't with us today. One is Arcangelo Sorvio, whose work I really admire. And unfortunately, he had to drop out today. But Steve Harron went from like zero to legend overnight.
Yes, he did.
All his work, it's insane. And before I pop it over to Leslie, to Mark, I just have to give you a little tease, Leslie, because I'm heading out of town first thing in the morning. But this is getting ready to ship really soon.
Oh!
Wow.
I want to cuss. I want to cuss so bad, but I can't cuss right now. It's a family show. I can't cuss right now.
Magnetic hypno siren there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's
That is so beautiful. Wow.
Oh, how can I quit you? How can I quit you?
Pretty epic.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to cry.
You're welcome. With that, I'm going to throw it over to Mark.
Hi, everyone. I am Mark Sang-Yang, and I am very honored to be here. I don't think I've built as many kits as most of the people here, but except maybe Marcellus. But like Steve has said, I have heard about all of you before meeting you here today, and this is my first time seeing Steve and Robert, I think. And Burlee too. I haven't seen Burlee before. Just pictures.
Yeah.
But Leslie too.
And me too. This is the first time you and I have met in person too.
Isn't it? I keep thinking we met already.
It's because of the Collect All Monsters thing. You know how that goes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, this is the first time meeting all of you. But I'm like, as Steve was saying, I'm very honored to be here, and this is a very talented group. And then before I go, I want to Philip, are you in the chat, Philip? Because I gotta show you something. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
What the heck?
What's going on with that?
That's the Godzilla. He got the Ghidorah in his mouth, about to kill it from King of the Monsters.
Godzilla eating Ghidorah.
Oh my goodness gracious!
That's awesome.
Okay, Philip.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, man.
Well, you know what? You know what? Mark is not saying some things. Mark is actually a very talented sculptor too. Mark has sculpted a lot of beautiful kits that I don't have any yet, but I'm sure I'll get one at some point. Leslie has showcased quite a few of Mark's original sculpts on Collect All Monsters, as a matter of fact. And so don't sell yourself short. You're also a model creator, I should say, designer, because you've done some pretty awesome pieces. So that's something that I don't have the skill to do, and I bow down to you for that. So
I appreciate it, man.
Very,
I'm too humble to say any of that, but
well, you shouldn't be, because it's pretty awesome stuff. Like, and I think your stuff keeps getting better and better as time goes on.
Oh well, I thank you. I appreciate it.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
A lot. And then the next guy, Burlee, he's every bit the sculptor as well. So.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Well, yeah, I'm Burlee, and I'm honored to be here amongst so many talented folks. I want to thank David for reaching out to me several months ago last year, talking about doing this show. So I'm just glad to be here. I've met in person Steve Ceragioli, of course, Robert. I've met you at Monsterpalooza. Same with Kyle too. I met him there. And then I think the rest of you only online. So, but I've I think Leslie was the person I've spoken with the longest, or when I joined the X Plus group in 2000, and I want to say 13 or 14.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, before it became the cesspool that it is right now. So
yeah.
Oh,
I was fairly new, and I think you were fairly new too. And so I was hunting down the
sea louse.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. And I still have that. And
you still do?
I do. And just to put out there, Leslie gave me that for free, literally. And so I remembered him from that day on. Like, it's a rare piece, and I thank you for that.
Sure, and we've been friends pretty much ever since. We haven't. We don't talk like we used to, and that's fine, because you do your thing, I do my thing. But we always been here, so and me just giving you that, because again, I saw you were a great person, which is rare to see sometimes in this hobby, quite frankly, because you never know who's going to be what they're going to be.
Yeah.
But ever since then, you've been like my ride or die. Even though I don't reach out to you as often, and that's my fault.
Oh no, I totally get you.
But we're here. But thank you for letting the world know that I'm not really the prick that I try to be on Collect All Monsters a lot of times.
Not. You got a big heart, buddy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And the next guy is let's see here. Where am I at? Is it Robert? Are you next?
Robert.
Robert's next.
Robert.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saving the best for last.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I've been waiting for this day. This is great, because you don't get together like this, except maybe at a show like Wonderfest in Kentucky once a year. So to get together with you guys, actually, I'm there with Steve. I'm honored, and I've been doing this a long time. I think I've been building kits from Japan since late 90s, I think. That's
wow, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure.
So I think the only ones I haven't met in person here, Steve, we've just never hooked up in person yet. One of these days.
Yes.
And Mark, but everybody else, right? We're good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I met you at
everybody.
Chiller Theater show in like 1993 or something like that. That was a memorable day, because I met you and Paul Komoda in the same day. So I was with Greg Hollander, and I met you there, and it was a momentous.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just moved up here to upstate. Well, part-time. Just bought a house up here. So I have this big outbuilding I was telling everybody about on a property that's going to be turned into Model Central, where my big diorama of miracles will be set up in there. And I finally have room. It's going to be great in there.
That's awesome.
And yeah, thank you. So I brought a few things up. I've been bringing it up in the car once a week. So I just threw some stuff on the table, just for some decorative stuff. And, if anyone has any questions about any of them, ask in the chat or anybody in the group. So I think that's it. Am I supposed to hand it to somebody?
I think you're back to Leslie. Yep.
Okay, Leslie,
yes. Right? Yes. And first off, let me just thank you, every single one of you, for being here. The chat is going wild right now. Y'all are well respected, rightfully so, because all of y'all are gifted, talented artists that have blessed so many people. I'm one of them. Eric Stope is one of them. Phil the Kaiju King is one of them. There are so many people that have benefited from the God-given talents that every single one of you people have. We thank you. We honor you. We appreciate you so much. We were expecting a couple more people. Steve Harron, he runs the Attack of the Miniature Monsters Facebook group, or Facebook page, I should say. I think he's having technical difficulties. Hopefully he'll get over those and he'll be with us soon. And last, certainly but not least, the most recent prodigy that's coming to his own as a great modeler, Marcellus Winters, the motivational speaker, the guy that gets a kit every 35 minutes, the guy that cosplays as Two-Face from Batman Forever. That guy, he's supposed to be coming here real soon. So that will be the lineup. But until then, we're going to keep on going with the questions I have for these guys. Now, Leslie,
can I interrupt for 1 second? I forgot to mention one person. Do I want to shout out to? No one mentioned. Everybody that's already been mentioned, yes, but also John Brindley. I wanted to make sure he got a shout out too.
That's right.
Yep. Good call.
All inspirational, and just be, like I said, just being here with all of you guys is kind of flipping me out, because it doesn't happen like Robert said. It might happen at G-Fest if we all go this year. That'd be cool, but this is like a kind of a unique thing. So let's do it. Let's get on with these questions.
Yeah, and let me just tell you that I'm personally have been a recipient from all of y'all. At some point, I got something from y'all. Like Robert, when I first met you at G-Fest last year, and I saw your awesome Destroy All Monsters diorama.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean this?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. In my opinion, what Destroy All Monsters should have looked like. Yeah. Robert made it happen in an awesome diorama at G-Fest. Of course, Steve, oh my God, we're like the Kong brothers, the Kong whisperers. That's what we are because of you. Thank you so much. Mark Sang Yang, Balante back there. Look at that. That's you, buddy. That is you right there. And Burlee. He got the imposter. This is Burlee and Mark Sang Yang. He built and painted, but the sculpt is all Burlee. So again, not only myself, but there are a lot of people out there that have been really fortunate recipients of your talent, of your awesomeness, and we cannot thank you enough. Now, before we get into the questions, let me roll down the chat right fast, because we got 32 people in here. A lot of people, wanting to hear what y'all awesome people have to say. Of course, Phil the Kaiju King, Gonzalo Colarde, Larry Latham, Nathaniel Plummer, Fancies of Cats. Well, I guess he's my biggest fan. Godzilla Train 1090, Michael Hain. Again, Kaiju Battle. Happy birthday. Your birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Eric Stolt, of course, Michael Hamilton. Sandra, my boo, I love you. I know you're downstairs. Liam Foley, Johnny Koch, Ryan Mitchell. We talked about him earlier. Ryan Mitchell, he's in the chat.
Shout out. Yep.
Eric Strong. Let's see who else. Disturbed Earth. Knights of Old. Of course, Mark Sang Yang. He's pulling double duty. He's here and he's in the chat right now. Jonathan Portman. What's up, Jonathan?
What's up, Jonathan?
Jim Gala. Just a lot of people. 35 people right now as it stands right now. So we have a lot of people in here wanting to get into your brains, into your minds, because you know what? It's been awesome to see. Basically, the model kit thing has been getting like a resurgence as of late. There are a lot of people that are starting to really get into this, where they want to build and paint the kits themselves, or they're contracting with awesome people such as yourself. But it's nice to see that people are really getting into the model kit game, because again, the model kit games covers a lot more monsters than what X Plus has done, what maybe Prime 1 does. So you can find what you're looking for by going the model kit route. All right. Now I got 4 questions during the meat and potatoes of this discussion, but I got a few rapid fire questions. Let's try to be real super brief with it, and again, just pass it on to the next person in the order that I established earlier. All right. So, in your opinion, what are your top 3 favorite kit sculptors / studios? David, go first.
Okay, this was hard, and I figured I better do a little bit of research. So I calculated all the models that I have and which sculptors do I have the most kits from. So not necessarily in this order. I've got Sakai, Ibaraki, Asai. Did I say Asai? Ibaraki, Sakai, Asai, and Niwa. Those are I added one more. Those are my top people that I love to build kits from. Steve, how about you?
Oh man, yeah, it's hard to limit to 3, isn't it?
It is.
Asai,
I had to do 4.
you have to. I love Asai. I love Sakai. Ibaraki is a genius, and I can't go without a 4th, and that's Tadao Inoue.
Oh, right. Old school. Yep.
And I will throw it to Mark.
Of course, Sakai is the master. Then Irabaki, Asai, and then my 4th one, my master, Busan. I have to throw him in there.
Oh, yes. He might be my new favorite. I got to see that 64 built up. Somebody do it. Come on, do it.
Burlee, who you got?
So in this order, so at the top, Niwa, and then second, Ibaraki, and then Asai.
Ooh, Sakai didn't make the list?
No, not for me.
Well, he followed the rules, Wesley. He did 3. We kind of went outside the box, so he did 3. But
I don't know if he's my 4th too. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Snap.
I wasn't expecting that one.
My turn? Yeah, okay. First is Mr. Inoue. I'm there. He's the godfather to me.
I knew that was going to be yours.
After that would be Hashimoto. He's probably
I forgot about him.
Yeah, that's the greatest heir to me, to the Inoue style. And then the third one could be any. I'll go with Niwa, I guess.
Leslie,
No Sakai, no Sakai or Asai didn't make the list.
I got to throw a shout out, Leslie, to Beto Matali as well, who I think is doing some amazing stuff outside Japan.
Actually, you know what? I was gonna say that because mine, I might as well do for my daggone self. So mine is Sakai, Niwa, KOC / Ibaraki, and my 4th is Voto Kaiju, Beto, and Steve. So Steve, this is like touching the face of God. This is how awesome this thing is. Oh God.
Hey, we got
right.
Marcellus. Marcellus is here.
Hey, Marcellus.
What's up, fellas? What's up, y'all?
What happened? What happened? Did Batman catch you and you now getting out of prison? What happened?
Did you have an accident?
Nah, man. I had to be a part of an ordination service today. I had to do an ordination that I thought was tomorrow, but it was actually today. So I had to drive 2 hours to Cleveland, and then drove 2 hours to Cleveland, do a 3-hour service, and now I'm back here. And then
That's dedication.
I have another event. I have another event right after this. So
all right. Just to bring you up to speed, we're doing rapid fire questions, and we're going this order: David, Steve, Mark Sang-Yang, Burlee, Robert, and then you'll be last, and then you kick it over to me versus have to interject. You've been a part of my stream before, so you know how I do things.
Yes, sir.
But we just talked about what are our top 3 favorite sculptors / studios. What are yours?
Studios
or sculptors? It doesn't matter.
It's going to be definitely KOC, and then the Monster Maker 28.
You're going the studio route. Okay.
Yeah, I'm more of the studio. I like the KOC, the Monster Maker 28, and then I'm trying to catch my brain. Begins with a D.
Dopko.
Dimos?
Yeah, the Dimos. No. I like the Kaiju Freaks before the Dimos.
Oh, okay.
I like Kaiju Freaks too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kaiju Freaks. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gathering myself.
Real quick, Leslie, I just want to clarify why a lot of us chose Ibaraki and KOC, because this new line of kits that he's been doing, that the company's been doing, these 40-centimeter resin kits with pins and magnets, I think they're game changers as far as the modeling world goes. Like they are a joy to build. They are so easy. You can actually ship them to people because they go right back in their protective styrofoam, containers. I totally think they're game changers because there's nothing more difficult for me than drilling and pinning. I hate that part of the kit building, of resin kit building, and that part is not really necessary with these KOC kits, this new generation of KOC kits. How do you guys feel about it? Do you guys agree?
To be fair, David, they are the most brilliantly cast kits I've ever seen. But let's be fair, they also are some of the best sculptures we've ever seen of those characters.
Of course, yes.
The fact that they go together flawlessly and easily in minutes is, like you said,
the icing on the cake. It's the icing on the cake. They are game changers. And now, like, I went back after building like 3 of those in a row to build like T's Facto. And I'm not bad mouthing T's Facto, but man, what a pain in the ass compared to the KOC. It's like, oh man, like you have to like kind of. You guys know what I'm talking about. It just didn't go together as easy. But anyway, sorry, I commandeered that whole thing. Leslie, let's get back to you.
Real quick, I didn't mean
go
to
ahead,
be
man.
rude. Hello, fellas. I'm sorry, y'all. How you guys doing?
Good.
You, Marcellus.
The great ones is all on here. Wow, all of my proteges.
I'm surprised you stopped building and painting to join us. I don't know when you sleep, my friend.
Man, late at night, bro. Late at night.
Crank them out.
Yeah, sometimes I get crazy busy, but it was a joy to be here, though. That's for sure. So
yeah, because we know when you're done, you're on my time, so you need to go ahead and get the painting because this is one of the rare occasions where you get paid before you go to work. I wish I had that in my job where I get paid before I do the work.
I see how
Leslie.
That's it. Look at all these great guys on here. I'm the rookie on here. I'm honored. Is that my man Robert down there? Oh man!
Yeah.
Wow.
Good to see you.
I must have took some games in overtime to be on this.
Now this next rapid fire thing is gonna be real super fast, so we can go ahead and get to the questions. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna name a kaiju, and you name what is the best model kit of that kaiju. And I have maybe 10 of them. So let's try and be. This is from your personal opinion. So let's try and be super fast, so we can go ahead and get to the next to the first question. All right. Godzilla 1962.
I go first, right? Me?
Yes. Yes.
It's a tie. KOC and the Atragon GK. Those are my 2 absolute favorite sculpts of the 62. Okay, Steve.
All right, the KOC is amazing, but I'm going to go with the 30-centimeter Sakai from a couple of years ago at Wonderfest. I've built a ton of 62s. It's the greatest I've ever seen.
There you go.
I'm going to agree with David and say KOC and also the Atragon because I have the Atragon.
That's beautiful.
I'm going to say KOC.
I don't even have the KOC, and I'm going to say that one.
I'm going to say my box day today.
The
Kaiju Freaks.
I have that one myself.
Yes, that's got to be it. It was sitting at the door waving at me when I came.
All right. Here's the next kaiju. Gigan 1972.
Woo.
Oh God, Monster Maker 28. I don't have it, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. The Monster Maker 28 is the one.
Agreed. Same one.
I have it. I love it. I agree.
Oh,
Monster Maker. Honorable mention to Bill Gudmundsson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Monster Maker 28, the one that me and Mark did together, but he did it. But we did it together.
It's unanimous. Leslie, how about you?
I would agree. So it didn't take us like 2 hours, but we agreed on something. We agreed on one thing. All right, this next one is kind of dear to my heart. So be honest. Godzilla 1964.
Well, Leslie, you're gonna agree with me. It's got to be a tie. It's got to be the M1 50 centimeter rubber skin, amazing piece that I built like almost 30 years ago, and the KOC 64 with the heads you can swap. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that because I haven't seen the Husan kit yet, but we'll talk about that later.
I am going to actually also probably be in the minority here. I'm going to say the 60 centimeter M1 hard vinyl. Same, yeah. The same one you're talking about, David, but I have the hard vinyl, and the detail's not as sharp as the KOC. It's not as crisp as the Husan. Those are amazing, but I have such a love for that kit. That's my call. Mark?
Oh, this is a tough one. I want to say the 50, but I'm going to have to go with the KOC. KOC.
You know, I love the MM28s, and I think that the KOC is fantastic, but there's just something about the M1 hard vinyl. I'm with you on this, Steve, on this. I think that one just embodies everything.
It has a presence.
It does, and I think that's the one for me.
You know what? I got. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
Yeah, without hesitation, as soon as you ask a question, for me, it's the M1, the hard vinyl one. The rubber one's good, but I know trying to build that thing is such a gigantic pain in the rear.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
So the hard vinyl, without a doubt, is mine. It's got attitude. It's got a, what did you say, presence, Steve? Yeah, it does. There's something about it.
Yeah.
Probably Sakai's best for me.
I just got the 264s, the Monster Maker, and the movie one. I looked at the heads. The scopes are really nice. I haven't really got into them, but man, it's a tie. I agree with Dave between the KOC and the M1. I ended up getting both of those in the same week, and I mean, I basically love both of them the same. I mean, I would call it a tie between both of them. What you think?
Right. I'm agree with David. The M1 rubber or the KOC, but if a fire broke out and I had to grab one, oh Jesus Christ!
That's a hard question.
Really tough.
I'm grabbing the KOC. I'm grabbing the KOC, and it hurts me because the big rubber one is looking at me right now. I'm sorry, dude. I mean, but you're not resin. I can't help that. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Sorry. Next time.
Can I add something? Because so the 64, right? So
Yes.
There's a 64B also,
Right.
And I think if we're talking the 64B, then I think MM28 takes it.
Absolutely.
The one that I just got for Robert.
We're not talking about that.
Thank you, Robert.
Burlee, because
You're welcome, Burlee.
that would change my vote. We're not talking about that.
It
It has a B next to it. It's slightly different. It's a different movie. It's a different Godzilla. But you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong.
And
by the
I'll
way,
add, Burlee, you did it up too. Looks
the
great.
rubber suit.
Thank you, Robert.
The rubber suit. I don't know why you guys prefer the hard vinyl, because I think there's nothing like this. Is like, I feel like I bought like a piece of the film, like with the rubber, and it was a pain in the ass. Don't get me wrong, and my skills weren't up to this 30 years ago. Like, but I definitely think that having a rubber representation of the 64 in this scale with this sculpt is pretty unique, and like there's nothing like it out there.
Absolutely.
I agree with David.
All right, here's the next kaiju. We got two more, then we go to the first question. The next kaiju, the 1974 or 75 mech.
Wait, now which company do I like best?
You can choose which design, but it's a show of Mechagodzilla. Which kit best represents? It don't matter which year you choose, but it has to be a Showa version of Mechagodzilla.
Probably the Monster Maker 2875. I prefer the 75 to the 74. I know I'm in the minority. He's a little bit sharper and he's not as barrel chested or stomached as the other one. Something about those tweaks that they did on the 74, like I respond to that better, but I'm gonna have to go with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Monster Maker 28. I ordered one from Japan for Burlee, and I had to sneak a peek at it before I shipped it to him. I true story. I immediately emailed my source and said, "Hey, I know you just got those in. Can you send a second one?" And he's like, "Sorry, you only ordered one. That's all we got." And I know isn't that the one that was just the FSL X Plus as well? Is that sculpt?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So. The resin was amazing. Can't beat it.
I'm gonna go with the NM28, of course, but the 74 because I kind of like that his bigger midsection.
Fair enough.
I don't have a choice between 74 and 75, but I think there's no competition here. MM28 takes it.
Yeah. I think we're all in agreement with that.
Yeah, MM2874 for sure. But I have a huge soft spot for the Billiken 75. Always have. So.
Oh, me too. That's one of the first kits I built. Yep.
The MM28, but the 75. I love the pose. Yes. I love how sharp it is, and then I like the interchangeable with the
brain. Yeah.
I love it. I got both of them, but I love the 75.
Beautiful.
I'm with y'all with the MM28, but I'm gonna go with the 74. I've always wanted that kit, but thank God X Plus came in and made a vinyl interpretation of it. But I've always wanted the original kit. But I just always like that pose of Mechagodzilla, so I'm gonna go with that one. And the final one, the final kaiju, I'm sure this will make my beautiful wife Sandra happy. The GMK Godzilla.
All right, I'm going to go with something that is kind of out of the box a little bit. I think the Tease Facto stylized. I don't know if Tease Facto has done more than one, but I have it over there. But it's the one where he's kind of looking down. It's the 30 centimeter, and it's just it's a little more stylized, but he just looks so freaking awesome. So the Tease Facto GMK. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Go to the next person. I'm going to get him. Go ahead. Go to the next person.
I'm going to be in the minority here, and people will throw stuff at the screen. I'm going to go with of all the ones I built, I love the X Plus vinyl kit version with the clear fins. Stylized though it may be, it has a presence like no other.
All right, ready? This guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you can see I broke the tip off. I had to do a little repair job there. He kind of hit the doorway when I was taking him out to photograph him. But that's the joy of having resin kits that you like to actually play with. But that's another story. Yeah, this is absolutely by far my favorite representation in resin of the GMK.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. Now let's put him down without breaking him. Okay.
You're up, Mark.
I think David and I are on the same wavelength today because I was going to say the same thing. I had the pleasure of building that kit a couple years ago, and I was blown away by it. So yeah, Tease Facto all the way.
Way to go, Mark. I like it.
So for me, I've only built one GMK kit. And then for me, I think it's just the MM28. And yeah, I bought that kit, and I think I only two kits of the GMK character. But I like it's the smaller one. I know the MM28 released two of them, a bigger one and a smaller one. Yeah. So I own both of them, but I like the smaller one, the one that comes with the whole set with a Baragon.
Oh, that one. Okay, I was going to ask you what style of pose was he in, because I can't recall which one that is.
Yeah.
Right on.
So that's the one. Yeah.
Cool.
Here's where my diorama bias comes out. Maybe not the greatest sculpted one, but I love the Sakai appearance one where he's kicking through the mountain. It's just something about that for me. It's small, 20 centimeters, but yeah, there's so much action to that one. So that's mine.
Right on.
Mine is I like it because I like the pose. I like and I'm actually I'm after it right now. I like the Black Dragon one. I love the pose on it. I don't know. I just like it. It's just real fierce.
Cool.
What you like, Les?
Like you, huh?
Well, this thing I have to be real careful. Cause I know my wife is watching, so I have to be real careful. But because she has the teeth fat though. But if you talk about me personally, I do love the teeth fat though. But I kind of like the Kibitsuya gigantic GMK a little bit more. The original kit that they augmented into the S Plus gigantic GMK for their figure. So I actually like that sculpt a little bit more. And I guess I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. So I'm sorry, Sandra, if you're watching. But
Leslie, I like that one a lot too. You're not
I do too. I love that one. That one's unique. That's super unique. Has anyone ever built the Sakai appearance? Because that one I've always been interested in. When he's like standing behind the rocks. Has any of you guys ever built that one?
Which one?
No one?
Well, the one that Rob just talked about, the one who was kicking over the mountain?
This is the Sakai appearance one. He's kind of looming over the mountain. You know when the photographer's looking up, like he's like taking the picture and she's like this, and it's basically his head over the rocks, and the rocks.
Okay.
That one, I've always wanted to build that one because I love that scene from the movie, and I'm a stickler for trying to replicate scenes that I love from the movie. And even though I don't have space for a diorama, but in my mind, I would love to build that kit and have room for it. But
build it.
I know, but where am I going to put it? I don't know. That's it. That's the one. Thank you, Kyle. I love that one. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And that's Sakai. See, Sakai made my list.
All right. So now we can go to the first question. I got 4 of them. So, we can be a little bit long-winded, because this is all about how y'all feel and your work and how y'all do things or whatever. But the first question is, what is your personal proudest work or best kit you ever done? Like, what is the one project that you feel is your best and cannot be topped? David, go.
Okay. This is going to be kind of interesting because you guys aren't going to expect the one I'm going to pick. Now, you all have done 1,000 Godzilla kits. Godzilla's gray. He's got tones of gray. He's got shades of gray, maybe a little green, maybe a little blue. But I had so much fun building the Billiken Giras kit. And just using a different color palette and just I had so much fun and I let myself go crazy with this kit. I think I really nailed the colors and I nailed the look of this particular monster, which is essentially Godzilla, as we all know, but he's not the typical gray charcoal color. So I really, really had so much fun building this kit, and he stands
Jesus
out,
Christ.
And what? Are you mad at me now? What's mad at me? Oh no.
No, I want it.
Yeah. Hey, it's vinyl. Find one and I'll build one for you. This is one I'll do for you. It was just so much fun, and I've been loving Billiken. Billiken was the first model kit that I ever built when I got back into the hobby after the Aurora kits as a kid. So I have a soft spot for Billiken kits, and they nailed this sculpt, man. They really nailed it, and Billiken keeps coming out with great stuff. Gargantuas were fantastic. I have 2 sets to do, one for myself and one for someone else. They just did an Icarus kit from Ultra 7, which looks really super cool. But no, I gotta say this one, and all right, if we're gonna do a Godzilla, indulge me real quick because we can be a little bit long-winded. The one that I just got, the most recent kit that I built, the Ryu Oyama stylized 1954. Man, this thing epitomizes everything I love about Godzilla. And it to me, this looks like a cross between a 54 Shodai and a GMK.
Yeah.
And I just absolutely love everything about this kit. I love the sculpt. I love the pose. I love that it looks like a man in a suit. I just think that this kit is the quintessential Godzilla kit of my entire collection. So the colors aren't exactly that vibrant. I mean, it's basically, you know, your typical Godzilla colors, but just and you can't see the nuances, you know, on the video screen. But trust me, I'm really proud of this kit, and I'm so grateful to own one. So thank you, Charles Blankenship. Charles Blankenship, thank you so much, Charles, for selling this to me. I never would have had it without your help, and I really appreciate it, and I'm eternally grateful. So, okay, that's it. Sorry, I went a little over my time, but Steve,
Yes.
how about you? What do you think is your favorite kit that you've ever worked on?
I got to go with two. I'm sorry. I got to do two. The first is, as far as, you know, guys, indulge me for a second. I think you all suffer from the same affliction I do, everyone on this panel. I see it in my head. When I start building a kit, I can see it finished in my head. And I can't. 2 in the morning, I think about what color layers to put in what order. And until I get it out of my head and finished, I really can't function. So, you know, I judge, you know, how happy I am with a kit by how close the build is to the image I had in my head. So to that end, you guys, Dave, you know what I'm talking about. The KOC Godzilla versus Biollante, the Rose Biollante where they're in the water. That one was a pain in the ass to build, frankly. But it was so close to what I wanted it to be, and I'm so happy with the outcome of that. And the second is the Sakai 62 Godzilla versus the 64 King Ghidorah poster kit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember that one.
Hours I spent on that kit, and it is exactly what I wanted it to be. So, yeah, I love that kit. They'll bury me with that. Although, David, you know, if something happens to me, get to the house first.
Oh. How far is it from Seattle to Las Vegas? I got to figure that out. Okay, right on.
One of you should end up with that kid at some point.
Oh, my gosh.
It's close enough. Come on, you can do it.
I can do it.
Mark, how about yourself?
Well, perhaps not my best work, but my most memorable is of course, the gigantic Sakai that's behind Steve. Not the same one, but not that same one, but you know that kit. I literally turned my living room into a studio because it would fit, you know, in my usual workspace. So yeah, I was working on that thing, and it just, you know, the experience was just amazing because I had always wanted to work on that. And then here's the thing, though, I was building it for Thomas Lee. I don't know if you guys know Thomas Lee.
Yeah, we know Thomas. Yeah, and
I had to rent a U-Haul to ship it. I rented a U-Haul to send it to the UPS because for some reason they weren't picking things up that day. So I rented a U-Haul and I shipped it, and you know, it was. I mean, the story that we have between us, Thomas and me, is timeless. So yeah, so.
I got to put this on the Rich ESO. I'm dreading it.
Oh my God! You said they weren't picking it up that day. They took one look at that box and like, hell no, I'm not picking that up. So,
Steve, it looked like a pet behind you.
You got to put that in a crate. I mean, that's got to be crated. That's like a
look at that thing, like a pet.
Actually, David, it was like 2 or 3 square inches below having to be freighted. It just fits with the tail unattached. I did it in 2 pieces. I've done it before, and I've got one more to do for Christine before I die. And I told her she and Joe have to come and get it. That's a real trip. I'm not shipping another one. It takes
watch it, Leslie.
Yeah, Mark. It takes a full day to pack that kit for shipping.
Yeah, I agree.
I can imagine.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because I deal in air freight, so I know exactly how they ship things, and it's heavy, and you need a big truck to do it, you know, and the shipping rates. I don't come cheap, so I can only imagine what it costs to ship something that big. So I definitely understand. I mean, but I was going to tell you, Mark, it don't have to be like as far as like what you've done, it don't have to be like just straight kits. If you want to talk about like the customs you've done, like for me or for Phil, for anybody, like it basically whatever you worked on, what is your best? So is that still your best?
Yeah, I mean the experience is my favorite memory. I mean, I can't say what my best is because I don't even know.
Everything.
I'm just I'm just relating experience for me. That for me that's something that will probably stay with me, as the number one experience.
That's fair. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so for me, the kit that I learned, the most from, or my best work, as an artist, I think you're always constantly growing. But I apologize for that buy sell promotion, but I think my 72 yet to be released
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
So
oh my goodness,
it was very hard, just sculpting him, but it was also I learned a lot from painting him as well because the suit is damaged, correct? And so then it is. Unlike the other Godzilla suits I've painted in the past, I had to make sure I was able to capture the subtleties of where the suit was damaged, the discoloration, all of that. And so
sweet Jesus.
Yeah. And it's coming out
Jesus.
From Galloping Ghost, Doc Max, Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo. So if you're interested, hit him up.
That face is spot on. Face is spot on. Beautiful.
And it scales perfectly with the MM28 Gigan. I use that as my.
I felt this piece in person. Y'all are not ready.
Yeah.
So, I'm telling you.
My body is ready. My body is ready.
I would be proud of that one too.
A second one. So I didn't build this, but Steve did.
Oh
my
goodness. I walked by and I can't stop but just look at it. And so
wow.
It was an absolute pleasure to do it for you, Burlee.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now that's what I want you to do for me, Steve. I want one of those.
There are 18 layers.
There's a piece that goes with it.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Minya. And so so I did the Minya, the easier
wow
character to build
I
paint,
just
and
saw
Steve
one of
did Seiko. So yeah,
you killed it on that one, Steve.
Thank you.
Amazing. Those colors are just amazing.
Yeah, so Burlee and Steve Ceragioli, if y'all just want to just hold Mechanicon and the 72 Godzilla for the remainder of the show, you can do that. It'll make me happy. It'll make everybody else happy. If you want to do that, you can do that. Okay, just saying. Just saying. All right, Robert, what you got, man? What is your best work?
My answer probably gonna not satisfy the question asker, because I tend to do projects that take a long time to do. Big dioramas. So to me, the next one's always the best one as I'm doing it.
Wow.
I don't really have one where I can say, yeah, that's the one. But I mean, if you had to push me, I built a lot of dioramas, not just kaiju. So I mean, if push came to shove, I'd probably say the kaiju one. I mean, the one I just did was pretty crazy, but I kind of like that tree sandwich. That one came out really good.
I was gonna say that if you didn't, Robert's Inoue Arts Tree Sandwich 62 Godzilla. That is one of my grails. I gotta get one of those at some point in my life.
Everyone should have one of those.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And you banged it out. You did a beautiful job.
Thank you. And then the non-kaiju one, if anyone's seen it, I have one called After the Lightning. It's in a Frankenstein laboratory.
Oh, yeah.
That thing, that one stands. I have that in my house set up. So I walk by that sometimes and I have to stop and go, oh, I nailed that one. Even still, several years later. And I do want to give, I forgot one person, by the way, I want to give a shout out to one of the greatest kaiju diorama builders ever, Mike Wallace. I don't know how he didn't get mentioned.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
You know what? Let me cut in here. Just to let y'all know, at some point, we will actually do a diorama episode. So just want to put that out there.
We'll do that.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Steve on that one.
We
don't know what that would be. Don't know what that would be. I don't know what that would be. So
Steve Harron's equipment needs to work because we need to see his stuff. Because he, to me, blows me away. Steve Harron's so sad he can't be here right now,
Yeah.
but he has done some dioramas that look like they're just right out of the film. Like
Yeah.
I'll post some pictures in our group later on, just so you guys know what we're talking about. Steve has done some dioramas that are just like, woohoo, blow my mind.
Incredible.
So, yes,
Incredible.
please, let's do one of those.
We will. Don't know when that will be, but I was thinking about that while I was prepping for the show, and we were talking about diorama stuff like that. I was like, you know what, that would make a great episode. So we will definitely do that sometime this year. Don't know when, but we would do it sometime this year. All right, Marcellus, what is your best work or the work you're most proud of?
I got a couple things. One of the first ones, you just need to slide over a little bit.
Oh, okay. that 91, baby.
No.
The
gargantuas. The gargantuas, yeah.
So that green gargantua is my first thing that I've ever done. It's the first thing I've ever done. Dave, thank you so much. Dave talked me through that whole thing, that process. I painted that thing 1,000 times.
You nailed it.
And that's the first thing I've ever painted. And so I was so proud of that that I had Doc Mack in the back. He made me a custom sander to go with it. As you see, who has them now. So listen.
He's a prop. Did you drop him? Oh no! Did he fall?
Because I was learning at that particular time when I went to G-Fest. Robert, he gave me so much input on that, on how to do the sander. John, he gave me a lot. They taught me how to do the washing. So I never painted that sander until I came back from G-Fest with the tools they gave me. So those mean a lot to me. Matter of fact, I have both of them. I haven't done them yet because I have to top that. Another one that I did I was excited about doing is right over my shoulder here. This Kaiju Freak Ghidorah 64. I saw Roberts and I wanted it. But I'm gonna reveal something because this is probably my best work because it was so challenging. It was so challenging, and big shout out to Dominic for making this happen. Actually, Mark had it at first. Mark was building it, and I begged Mark to start painting it because it was so challenging. And Mark, I just love you because Mark just be pushing. He like, no, Marcellus, you can do it. You're gonna do the best. You're gonna do this. So I'm literally hitting Mark at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Mark, what do you do for this? What do you do for this? What do you do for that? And so he kept saying, Marcellus, you got it. Do this, do that. I hit up other people. And so I finally did my. So I finally finished the MM. This has got to be one of my best pieces. John told me about going through and getting the dorsals in between the fins. And, I had to do the chest. When my wife came down and was like, okay, you nailed it with the book. I kept changing the colors around. I airbrushed this thing about 3 or 4 different times. I end up using, after I did it, I sealed the paint, and then I went with this. John told me to get like a satin varnish that I put all through him to seal the paint and then to brighten up his colors. So this, I haven't put the antennas in. That was the last thing because I got so busy. But I think I did pretty okay. I think
you nailed it.
I think I did okay. So. This is probably my best piece because it was challenging, man. I mean, I raced all the paint off of the fins like 3 different times because I wanted to hit that just like right on spot. And so, this is probably my best work right here.
It's amazing.
Those dots took me almost. Wow, these dots took me almost 20 hours. Because I was literally calculating my hours. I was stopped because I didn't want to get tired and start making them sloppy. But yeah, this thing was a lot of work, man. Even down to the nails. I was really trying to hit this thing right on, man. And this is probably my best work. Definitely.
Wow.
Nice.
If you were charging by the hour for someone else, Marcellus, I'd be like, cha-ching.
You know what? I told a couple people, I said, to be 100%
It's
honest,
gonna be expensive.
I don't know if I would commission this, because there's no way I can do it below what I've already done.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would have to put this much work into it. So, I would charge a little bit. I would have to. Because I wouldn't know how to do it no less than the work that I put into this thing, man. And I put a lot of work into that thing. Yeah, I put a lot of work into it. So,
I mean, but you already know that's your best work today. But in like a week or two from now, I mean, let's be honest.
You know what?
Let's be honest, okay?
I'm gonna be honest. I feel, you guys encourage me so much. Steve one time took me through a tour of his house, and I was like, "That's your best word. That's your best word. No, that's your best word. No, that's your best word. No, that's your best word. That's your best word." And you guys' work is just absolutely amazing, and I just feel so privileged, to work on some of the grails that I've worked on. Only been painting for 7-8 months, and I've been blessed, man, to work on some amazing kits. And I am working on this one for Leslie. And I did tell him I'm going to try to make this into a masterpiece because of the size. These 50-year-old eyes, the bigger for me is better. And so I'm going to see what I come up with. I'm going to see what I can do.
You are a prodigy, man, because Steve and Robert, I can speak for these guys. We've been doing this for like 30 years. Okay. So for you to be doing this caliber of work in like 7 or 8 months, that to me, that's
very
amazing.
impressive.
I appreciate
that. Blows me away, because like I said, I've been doing this, for 30 years, and what somebody said, I remember who it is. Your best kid is the next one.
Yeah,
Robert said that. Robert, yeah.
I'm always trying to get better.
Work is incredible.
Yeah.
And you know what? I did 11 of these Roto Kaiju Kongs. And each one keeps getting better.
Yeah.
So I keep going back in and working on my own.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. 11. I did 11 of these for people. So I love this kid.
And I think one of my tricks is, I inbox you guys all the time. As being a pastor, I'm a learner, so I love to learn. I got so many notes from being with Robert down at G-Fest, and one of the things I do is I look at you guys' work, and then I'm always watching the movie as I paint. And so I'm trying to find things, because with the Titanosaurus, if you notice, his color changes quite a bit through the movie. There's times where he's almost completely black, then he looks red, and then that fight scene where Godzilla throws him through the building and they start rumbling up, he looks completely orange. So I was trying to figure that out. I'm asking questions, and I give credit to you guys. You guys really walked me through a whole lot of that, man. And from Dave, you teaching me how to fill gaps, and it's been awesome, man. I really appreciate you guys.
Stuff,
I got big ones now, Dave. I got big giant.
Oh, I know you do. You bought the tubs. You got the tubs.
Yeah, I got big tubs now. So
David, stuff is magic.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, man.
After 11, do you like that Kong kit?
I love that Kong kit. Are you kidding me? We're very intimate with each other now. Like, that Kong kit and I know each other pretty well, because
absolutely
11. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, that Kong is amazing.
How about you? You like that kit?
I love it.
So, how about today? I drop a little news.
Oh
no!
Come on. What are you gonna do to us now?
So
the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Kit. We've been going back and forth for a while now. Beto and I have been talking, looking at images, and we've been hitting at it for a while. But I can officially tell you all today, the next Roto Kaiju kit will be the 62 Kong 50 centimeter scale. To go with that Marcellus just showed. All new pose, all new. That is our.
This is vinyl kit, Steve?
It is vinyl, and stay tuned.
Oh, man.
Oh my God!
When we did this, right? We changed up all the stuff. So
That's gorgeous.
And there's a gigantic one sculpted. Just he's on the back burner because we got to do the 62 Kong. We've been wanting to do it. Beto is such a perfectionist. He believes he can do better. He believes that we can get a little more accurate. We've been talking about poses that will match up well with those kits. So,
Wow.
You know.
I'm blown away. I'm
right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm a
Steve,
huge fan.
Get one.
I'm a huge fan of the 62 Kong, and I've wanted a good representation for as long as I can remember. Since the Aurora kit came out, I wanted a 62 representation, and I got to say, this Kong sculpt, it's so
perfect.
Spot on.
Perfect.
It's perfection, and I'm going to use my word. This is the absolute 100% quintessential 62 Toho Kong available until we see the 50 centimeter. There, I had to get it in there. But yeah, I love this one so much, and
put your Kongs up. Put your Kongs up.
I gotta grab my
Throw them up in there.
I got one.
Don't throw your ones in the air. Put your Kongs in the air. Throw them up.
Woohoo! No, it is that good. It is that good.
So we think
I had to grab my Kong. There he
is. Yeah, we're stay tuned.
Oh, I'll stay tuned.
Thank you.
I'm already tuned.
Thank you so much for dropping this news, and it's so awesome that you're doing a gigantic version. Of the guy who did win. So it is awesome that you're doing that.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go. He had to throw that in there.
Slip it in.
I had to slip it.
He just had to throw that in
I was
there.
paying attention, but I was.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
They don't have we fight and we argue, and it's really friendly because we have the same goal, right? We just look at it so differently. So yeah, we're already starting to talk about the height. Like he's getting really exact with the height. Pose, like it's got to have the right pose. So
I'm already thinking what Godzilla's going to be his match. Like, do I have it or do I have to buy it? How does it match up with the gigantic 62? Is that going to be pretty good? Or because I know Godzilla is much bigger than Kong in the film. So
he sure is, David. What if the next one behind it was a 62 Godzilla in scale?
That's what I thought you was going to say. Yeah. That's what I thought you was going to say at first.
Stop the presses. Stop the presses. Oh, my God. You're killing me.
My wallet is cursing right now.
It's
cursing me out right now.
In vinyl, right? In vinyl.
It's no secret, Steve, that 62 is your boy. That's your Godzilla, right?
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
I got when we get to the next questions, I got some 62 stuff to talk about.
Right on.
See, that's what we do on Collect All Monsters. We drop bombs, we drop news, we drop all the good stuff. That's what you need to do. Join Collect All Monsters. Subscribe to the channel. Join our Facebook group to get the inside scoop on these awesome new sculpts and figures and kits that are coming right now. Oh my God. Let me get to the next question right fast. Let me get to the next question.
Here, this is a brand new one. Does anyone get this?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I know Kenny Caruso got one.
Yeah.
Kyle's trip got one, I think, right?
I got one. Hey, I got one on bid right now. I'm just saying. Got 1 day left.
Wow. Fingers
Marcellus,
crossed.
Okay, so here's the next question. We got three more questions, and then that'll be it. The second question is there a kit that you wish that you could have done over again for whatever reason? Whether you feel you didn't do a good enough job the first time, or maybe the kit was so fun to work on, you're dying to work on it again. But what is that one kit you wish you could do all over again? David, go.
Well, I like this question a lot because it made me think. And most of the kits that we build, if you build them correctly, you can kind of always go back in and rework them, which I do all the time. Like I'll see somebody, I'll see Marcellus post something like, oh, you know what? I think I like the way he shaded that one. I'm going to go do mine that way. I constantly get inspired by all of you guys. But as far as building another kit again, I got to go with this one. Because as I mentioned before, I built this with my friend Greg Follender in his apartment in New York City, like almost 30 years ago. And I did we did a pretty good job, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And there's a couple of seams and a couple of gaps, and I didn't cut the vinyl out as well as I should have. I mean, you really have to look closely to see it, but of course I see it, and I didn't put the eyes in as well as I could have. Just I would love to do this one again. I would love to just at the level I am now, you know, still improving, but I think I'm a hell of a lot better than I was 30 years ago, and this was way above my skill set. Okay. And I do have to go back in and do some paint touch-ups because being rubber, the paint does tend to rub off, you know, sometimes if you handle it. And I do have to go back in and do that. But I would actually like to do this kit from the beginning, from scratch all over again. I mean, he has a wire frame in here that we made out of coat hangers, wire coat hangers. And there's foam in here, but and I'm surprised that he's still holding up really well after 30 years. I mean, we must have done something right, but I couldn't have done it without Greg's help. I mean, I know Robert knows Greg from way back in the day, in our days of modeling in New York City, but I would love to do this one again. And as far as any other kits, I'm pretty good at building them. So I always go back in and do some revisions or touch-ups or highlights or something that I see on one of your posts, and I'm like, that looks pretty good. I think I might want to try that with mine. So yes, I go back and do that all the time, but if I had one kit to do from scratch all over again, it would have to be the M1 50 centimeter rubber skin 64. How about you, Steve?
You know, there's a bunch I'd love to redo, but this is an easy question to answer for me. The very first vinyl kit of Godzilla I ever got, my mother, God rest her soul, passed away a month ago today.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. She was the one who took me shopping every weekend to Japantown, to Heroes Club, good old Robin Kwok shop. It's
Heroes Club, yep.
Mm-hmm. Dave and I were there at the same time and never met in the 80s.
We probably crossed paths and never saw each other.
Many times never saw each other. I'm sure we did. So my very first Godzilla kit ever, and I butchered it. I didn't putty the seams. I didn't do any of that stuff, is the Wave 35 centimeter 62. And and so, yes, I have, it's one of my all-time favorite kits ever. So I have reacquired one. I sold that kit to pay the rent.
I love that kit.
I love this kit. You have to adjust the jaw. The resin kit's perfect. The vinyl kit, because of the casting, the lower jaw sticks out a little too far.
Jumps out too far, absolutely.
So you can see that I have it here.
You nailed it.
Thank you. I love it. I will be redoing it for my own collection, and it will never be for sale again. So that is the one that got away that needed to be redone.
Oh man, damn you, Steve! Now I want that kit again. I sold it because the mouth always bothered me, and I did go back in after it was finished and cut it out and
all you have to do is cut a little bit
and place it back further. Yep.
And it pushes back in about 3 or 4 millimeters. As you can see, it just fits perfectly.
Yeah.
It's a great pose too. It's such a great pose.
Such a great pose. And matches up really well with Beto's Kong, just saying. Yeah, it's really close. Yeah, there he is. David, you can find that kit. I mean, it pops up here and there, and it's not.
I know. All right, let me know when you see one next. I think I might have to shell out for that. Yeah. But real quick, I don't want to take any time. But the thing that all of you guys who've been doing this for a while used to use that Squadron Milliput. Okay, that green putty that was toxic. You had to use that outside, and it burned your fingers. The game changer for me. I'd like to redo every kit that I had built with that. I'm going to say a bad word. That stuff until I found this instead.
Yeah.
Right. You can use this with no gloves. It dries on its own. He'd need to go to a special room. But you guys remember? I know Robert. You remember that Milliput, that green. And I used to get burns on my fingers because for using it, and you get really super nauseous from the fumes. But anything I built with that's garbage. I'd like to redo again because
that green stuff.
Yeah, Milliput. It was Milliput. I know there's some brain cells, and I know I'm going to have early Alzheimer's because of that stuff. Because that's all there was. That was the only putty there was back in the day.
Yeah, back when we built, building Auroras in the 70s.
Yeah.
the glue back then.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
They still smell.
A couple times where I started getting pretty woozy from that stuff.
That
as a kid.
Tester's
That was my
glue, I
first
still
experience with
get
drugs.
that smell. Like wow.
David, I never used that Livacut stuff
You
ever in
never
my life.
used it?
Either.
Oh my god.
Robin Troch had me using Tamaya's Mr. Putty, and
Is that good?
it was okay. It's creamy. I tell you, to this day, I from the 90s till now, I always use the Testers model contour putty, and you can still buy it at art and hobby stores. Comes in the same tube as the glue.
Yeah.
And I've been using that forever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're talking shop here, but if you guys are listening in the chat, these are great tips. If you want to fill in gaps, Steve, I never use what Steve used, but epoxy clay or epoxy sculpt, these things are absolutely amazing, and you can basically sculpt a figure with this stuff if you have enough of it.
I got what Dave got.
I'm dying to know what Mark's do-over would be.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm going a little crazy here.
Well, this is something I actually think about quite often, and if I'm honest, I would like to do all of them over. every kit that leaves my workbench and I send it off, a week later I'll be thinking back and I'll be like, you know what? I probably could have done this better or did this better. And in fact, I have actually asked people to send the kits back and have
you really?
And
wow,
redo them.
really?
I mean,
you're a kinder man than me, that's for sure.
when I was working on the Rotokongs, the Steve, you remember? I asked you for the eyes.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah. When I did that for Eric Stoke, and I actually asked him to send back the Mechanicong because I wasn't happy with it. Because a week later, I had seen that Beto started painting his own, and I was like, hey, you know what? I like his color scheme. So I asked Eric to send it back because I was like, I'm going to use something I learned from him. So that's how I just, I mean, I'm sure all of you can relate, but as a artist, I guess you're always trying to, up the game and
absolutely.
It's unfortunate Steve's not here, as you said earlier, David, because I have learned a lot from him as well. I would see his paint schemes and his dioramas, and then I would be like, how did he achieve that? And then sometimes I would flat out ask him, but sometimes you just experiment on your own, and then you get a similar result, and then voila. But yeah, I mean, there's, if I'm honest, every kit that I've sent away, I've wanted to redo it by the next week.
Wow. Well, we all do that. Like, we all go back in there and do them.
So I'm gonna pick off back on what Mark said about Kongs. I find that Kongs are like the most challenging to paint. When I first started out, building my Billiken 62 Kong, I had the paint scheme all wrong because Kong isn't just brown, right? And so I think it's really his fur is very complex.
Very good.
The color palette, and so and even his face. In some images, his face looks gray, but then it's not too, and so like there's a lot of layers of different colors.
Amen, brother.
And so I find that Kong is perhaps the hardest kaiju to paint. So yeah, every time I have to build a Kong, and I've built many of them, I tend to freak out before the end of finishing the kit. But the ones that I do, the characters that I do enjoy building and painting are their Gargantuas. I love the X Plus Gargantua kits. Just the layers of greens on Gyro and the layers of yellows and browns on Sanda. I can build those all the time.
Do you guys find Sanda more challenging than Gyra?
No. Well,
I do.
I think Gyra is harder than me.
Gyra's much easier for me. I love doing Gyra.
Gyra is harder.
Sanda, if you don't get him right, No, sand is so much harder for me. Wow.
I'm with David.
And then in terms of like seams, I use this here. I think Mark also uses this too, Magic Scope. So
So
it
we all
works
have
great with
different
water.
stuff.
Yeah.
Magic Sculpt is good stuff. I like it.
I haven't used
Yeah,
it. I haven't
and you
used
can
it.
build entire like you can sculpt. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mark. Yeah, you sculpted your
Magic scope.
Yeah. So that's what I use for my kits. A combination of Magic Sculpts on top of Super Sculpey Firm. So.
Wow. Well, cool. See, we learn something every day. I've never used that before.
It's good seam filler, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give it a
Really
try.
good for that.
But what Marcellus said about the Kongs, I mean, what Marcellus said about Titanosaurus, he looks different in every scene.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I would used to always do like the day scenes where he's got more of a tannish pink in there. And then I saw Kyle Younts, who's our wonderful producer today. I went to his house at KaijuCast HQ when he was living in Portland, and he did a much darker look to Kong Space, which is more of a night scene, and I adopted that. I went back and did like I don't know what number, but one of them I started to do as a night version, and it just depends on what scene you want to represent. You know what I mean? It's not that it's wrong, but it is wrong if you don't use like several colors. I mean, there's gray, there's pink, there's tan, there's brown, there's red. There's a lot of red in Kong's fur. So if you look at these up close without a natural light, you'll see all the nuances of paint in that. It looks just gray there, but there's there's so many different colors going on in there, and it's just so fascinating. We could do a whole
thing
episode on painting Kongs. Seriously.
Absolutely.
And maybe we will when the 50 centimeter comes out. But okay, sorry.
I got
Robert, what you got, Robert?
What was the question again? Oh, right.
Sorry. I need to shut up.
I kind of like with others. When you're done with something, especially a diorama, you can, at least me, I can look at it and pick it apart. Say, there's this I could have done better, or because I build them now with Eric Hamilton. We do them together.
Oh yeah.
So, and he agrees, and we'll talk about things. But I'm never going to go back in and try to fix it because whenever it is, it's done in my mind. Okay, done. Let's move on to the next one. However, back in my early days, I did a big Paradise big swing that. Just came out disastrous, and I tried putting fur on Kong, and the whole thing just turned out to be. I kind of have it in a box now. This Godzilla finally fell down, even though I put wires in them. So that's one forever I've intended to go back, not even redo that one, just completely rebuild another big swing. That to me is an old classic.
That is a classic kit, yeah.
And if I could find the resin version reasonably cheap, I would buy that. But those are expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Robert, first. You need to go in the back room, take off that Bruce Lee shirt, and send it to me. That's the first thing you need to do because I need that Bruce Lee shirt you got on. Love that shirt.
Yeah, you got it right.
I love that shirt he got on.
50 push-ups.
I love that shirt. This will be mine, man. Because this is the first thing I ever did and I ever painted. And Leslie doesn't know. Man, I butchered that thing to try to figure out what I was doing. I was calling Dave and trying to figure it out. And it came out, amazing. That's why I haven't touched this one yet. But I wanted to go back over that and do it again because that was the first thing I was learning about, working with the clay, working with the different colors and the different layers. The crazy thing is with the Kongs, that's probably my easiest thing. I don't know why. I just see all of the different colors in the Kongs. That one with the rock is the very first kit that I did.
Right.
And I did so many different colors. I was actually asking Dave about, the different colors in it. But mine would definitely be the Gargantua set that I got. One is actually the Skynet. It's that Skynet Gargantua. I just designed it. I redid the back, the front, and then the other one is a custom kit. But I've been waiting to do those, and it's going to be a while before I get to them because there's a certain way I want to do those. But yeah, I'm gonna go back and I'm going to do those and make Leslie be feeling some type of crazy.
Oh,
because you know what, the easiest thing for me to do though was the fur, because my wife was a hairstylist, so she told me how to tease and do that fur and put the fur on there. So I really want to go in from head to toe with the fur, from the hair all the way down with that fur. But Gyra is always more challenging for me than Sanda for some reason. I don't know what it is. I normally do him about 2 or 3 times before I get it right. But that's probably my number one that I wanted to do over is those.
I got a Gyra for you right here.
Gyra's fun. Gyra's just a lot of fun with all the greens and the weird. He's got a lot of colors going in there.
He does, and I think that's why it's so challenging, because I'll be trying to pull out every single color and thing that I can. Yeah.
I mean, if you can see, there's like so many colors in there, and this is the old X Plus vinyl kit that came out like 2011 or 2010, like a really long time ago.
I love them.
But Sanda doesn't look nearly as good. And speaking of going back in, I'm going to go back in and redo that Sanda because I'm not satisfied with it. There's something not right with him. He's just not right.
David, one of the most satisfying pieces I ever did was I painted that X Plus Sanda and Gyra for Dale Martinez. And
that's a beautiful one. The metallic one, right?
Favorite thing I've ever done, I think, for eyes.
I love the Billiken. The Billiken kit of those.
Right. He's not right.
See how you are, Mark. You can see how you are down there with that. That that thing is insane.
I've got 2
I'm just trying to get Philip stoked
to do, so I got to do plenty of tennis.
Cow.
Yeah, we had fun with the Destroy All Modelers one, the one from last year. That one put a lot of different colors in there.
Oh my God, Robert! I got 1,000 pictures of that thing, man. That was incredible.
You got a book, Marcellus, right? Did you get a book?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good.
Yeah.
Robert does kits like so epic. They need a book. It's amazing.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can. I know this isn't about dioramas, but when I make one, we come up with a whole story for it.
Yeah.
So we want to tell a story with it, and even if people can't read it. Yeah, the book is most of the story.
That's great.
Yeah.
Mine's about to get destroyed. I'm about to tear my whole thing down in about the next week or 2. I'm about to tear the whole thing down. The whole thing coming down. I'm about to rebuild something crazy. Yeah. Crazier and bigger. Stay tuned for that. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane.
Well, here's the third question. We got 2 more questions, and then that'll be it. Here's the third question. Hold on. Where's it at? Okay. And this is something that I've seen a lot over the years when it comes to model kits, and it pertains to X Plus, because we all know X Plus figures, basically a good chunk of their figures or their sculpts are really taken from already existing model kits, But I have seen some modelers, not y'all, but I have seen some modelers kind of throw shade at X Plus for doing that. But my third question is, with X Plus and all these other companies reinterpreting some of these model kits into their figures, do you personally feel that hurts the value of that model kit, or do you feel that by these kits being interpreted or being reinterpreted, I should say, that it would drive more folks to get more into the model kit game, since a lot of new collectors don't even know that these are figures taken from model kits in beforehand? So do you personally feel that hurts or helps the model kit game? David, go.
I think it actually helps the model kit game. I don't get offended when there's a kit that I've built and then X Plus does one. Perfect example is the Rodan, the Monster Maker. No, Kaiju Freaks Rodan, the one on the building. Is that the one on Steve? Okay, so that particular Rodan, I've wanted that in a resin kit for so long, but I didn't have the space for that big, department store came with the resin kit. So when X Plus decided to use that sculpt for the Rodin himself and the favorite sculptor line, I was pretty stoked because I got to have it. And the thing that I've always said from the very beginning, since I first joined the X Plus group, basically even the X Plus figures that didn't come from kits, I treat them as kits. So if you want to disassemble it, you want to change something, you want to modify it, you want to enhance it, you want to anything, just you can do that with those, with those figures. And it's just a way for someone who maybe would never have the skills or the money to pay somebody to build a kit that they've always wanted to own one. And I think it's a great thing. I don't have any problem with it. As all of you modelers can vouch for me, there's plenty of people. We can always find people to that want to have us build stuff for them. That's never going to change, even though X Plus did do this. Like, I have to turn people away because I just don't have the time to do it. But I like it. I've bought some. I've doubled up. Like, I have the Sakai G2K maquette that I built and painted, the resin one, and that is so fragile. Those spikes are so fragile, and the tail is so long and sinuous that I'm terrified to move it around to take it out and photograph it. So I went ahead and bought the X Plus version, the vinyl version, and I used that to take outside and photograph it. And I wasn't happy with the paint job, so I just redid it. I touched it up and redid it and made it my own. The tendency from the translation from resin kit into vinyl figure, you do lose a little bit of the scale and you lose a little bit of the detail. However, it's not that bad and it's really good. And I'm happy that people who never would be able to own these kits can actually get one at a more reasonable price. I mean, X Plus isn't cheap, but resin kits are a lot more money than the X Plus figures are. Plus, if you have to pay someone to build it and paint it and ship it, that's a whole other cost. So my long-winded answer is I think it's a good thing. I'm not mad at it. Keep going. More power to you. How about you, Steve?
Yeah, I'm almost in the same boat, David, because there are a lot of people who don't appreciate it, and that's okay. I think that's a valid opinion to have. For me, that's how I got the Atragon 62 Godzilla, right?
Right.
But, look at what a lot of people considered the 2022 figure of the year, right? It was, as you know, David and I've talked about this, and Burlee knows, one of my all-time grail kits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
I was so excited when this got announced because I've been searching for this kit forever, that I immediately ordered one from my supplier. And then, lo and behold, because of the interest, thank God, Asai fired up the molds again. I was able to acquire an actual resin version. They lose detail. Sorry, they lose a little bit of detail.
You do.
They lose a touch of size. The technology's gotten much better. But I don't want that piece with a stand. I want the resin, which properly engineered will stand on its own. And it's a Bira. A Bira's got to be sharp, like razor sharp, right? So for me, I would rather have my paint. May not be for everybody, but it's the version that I would want. I would rather have my paint. So not only am I for it, the other reason I'm really for it is you look at a guy like Asai, who's done some of my favorite kits of all time, and he was on many of our top 3 lists. And he's allowed now to monetize his old sculpts. And that keeps this all going, right? It keeps the whole hobby going because now he can cash in on what was dead. A lot of these model kits are limited license. They can only do 20, 30, 50, pressings, and that's it. So, I'm all for those guys getting paid for their work. I'm all for Sakai getting paid for his work. It allows people who don't do what we do.
Absolutely.
And anyone can build and paint. Anyone can wake up and start tomorrow. Look at Marcellus. Marcellus woke up 7 months ago and turned into
I know. He's amazing. Right? It's totally
anyone
true.
can do this. But for those who really can't, well deserved. For those who really can't, you can go and buy a pre-painted, the base model, right? We won't get the lot.
Yeah.
You can get the base model pre-painted, put it on the shelf. I'm all for it. Why should we be exclusionary? Why should we prevent people in this hobby
Amen.
from enjoying this stuff? Right?
Preach.
And you said it, Steve. And I forgot to say this. It's at least these artists are getting paid for their art. They're getting paid for it. They're not bootlegs. These are officially licensed figures from X Plus. X Plus has a hard time. I mean, takes a lot of effort to get these licenses from these sculptors, and like just like you said, it breathes new life into the hobby, because people are like, oh my God, this guy's name is Asai. He sculpted this. Oh, he also did that. Oh, he came this in resin. I want that in resin now.
David, how many people didn't know that the Godzilla versus Ebirah was a resin kit years before?
Oh,
Right.
I guarantee.
I'm like, I know.
The majority did not know that was a kit. And
I'm like, why do you think they changed one forever? It's awesome.
And resin model kits, they're amazing. They're the top of the line, the cream of the crop, but they do not translate well to being moved around a lot and taken outside and photographed. I can't do it because you just saw my T's back and the tail snapped off. I'm terrified to move them, because if I drop it or I bang it into a rock or something, I'm screwed.
How many of us in this room today have knocked off one of the little wingtips on a King Ghidorah resin kit?
Well, I'm sure I would have, but I don't have any.
I just did.
Especially if you build, like I have, the original version, which has just the little spikes of metal sticking out from the original promo posters. Those little suckers will snap right off if you touch. Right?
Yeah, you look at them wrong, they snap off. Now this Rodin, this Monster Maker 2856 Rodin, I forgot, is I'm very proud of this piece. It was one of the hardest models I've ever built. Steve Harron built one. He can agree with me. It was really hard to sand that down, to get the pieces to fit correctly, et cetera, et cetera. But now that I have the favorite sculpture line, Asai 56 Rodin, I can take him out and photograph him in natural light and not worry about the wings falling off. If I dropped this thing, I would lose my mind. Okay.
Yeah. And you could repaint the X if you wanted to, David.
I have.
Yeah.
And I have, and it's all good. There's no negative to it, but it is a valid point. If it's not for you, if you're a purist and you want to do all, the original sculpts and the resin kits and vinyl kits, that's totally fine. It's a valid opinion. But for me and for you, we're into it. How about you, Mark? What do you think?
Well, I think, David, you and Steve make valid points. And for the most part, I guess not for the most part, 100% agree. Because, as you've said, we don't want to be exclusionary, and so, and also what it does is, it promotes the artists so that they can continue doing what they do. And
exactly,
I think that is a good thing, because, honestly, I didn't even know who Sakai was about 10 years ago. I saw his work, but I didn't know who did it. I just thought, this guy is amazing. But I didn't know anything about, who he was. And then, and then some of these other artists like, Irabaki and Asai and Miwa, I didn't even know who they were, like 5-7 years ago,
Right.
So the fact that we have, X Plus is taking these kits and turning them into vinyls, then you start thinking, well, who is this guy? Who is this person?
Exactly.
I want to find out more. So yeah, I mean, I think it's the good outweighs the bad is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, 100%.
Burlee?
So for me, so I've had a change of heart over the years. So I was actually, like early on, I was actually not happy with it. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't, because I was also an avid collector of X Plus and also model kits. And so what I wanted from X Plus was, just sculpts that I didn't have in kit form. And so that was the reason why I was against it. But over the years, though, I've come to, to actually be totally fine with it, because I realized that sometimes, and I'll give an example here, the MM28 GMK set, right? I own both the kit version and the X Plus set as well. And the reason why I have both is because what they did with that set was they were able to give the resin kits in vinyl form translucent parts,
Mm, yep.
and that to me was unique, and so I had to have both. And so for me, I'm actually okay with having with X Plus putting out kits now. What else was I gonna say? Also, and I mean, this might be taboo, but because Sakai is not on my top 3 or 5 list, that I like buying my Sakai uh, sculpts from X Plus,
Huh?
and that might be not popular, but
No, that's hey.
but
It's
but
it's
that's
what you want to do, man.
yeah, and so yeah, um, yeah, but that's my answer to the question.
That's a great answer. It's a valid answer. I like it.
Yeah, Burlee, I kind of was in the same boat with you when it started out. Because with me, model kits for this thing, you had to find and you had to build it. You had to earn it to have this thing. I really used to like that about it. And then X Plus came out with their stuff. And I did think, oh, I hope this doesn't hurt the hobby more than it already was, because it wasn't doing that great, I don't think, a number of years ago, the kit world, I mean. But as the years are going on, I mean, I'm seeing, I think, Leslie, you mentioned this, that it seems there's a lot more modelers entering this hobby now. I don't know if it's because of X Plus. I don't know if it's just because because of tabletop gaming and these other things that have promoted these amazing painters. If anyone's ever seen some of that work that they do, and maybe it's just elevated the skill of modeling again. I don't know what it is. So now I have a bunch of X Pluses, but I don't display any of them because they all kind of have the same old paint job. So it's kind of, it's not mine. But I do use them for a diorama now and then. I just chop one up, repose it, repaint it, and make it mine. So that's what X Pluses are to me. Just something to chop up and use somewhere else.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Robert? If these kits, these X Plus kits, brought down the value of these resin kits that we all love, then maybe that wouldn't be a good thing. But they're still super hard to find. They're still super exclusive and super expensive. So that hasn't changed at all. It's actually just made more. It's more to the forefront, and it makes it harder for me to get kits even now because they're on people's radars now because of this X Plus.
I guess it's because of X Plus. I don't know.
It's pretty much it is. It is.
Like Burlee, you weren't able to find the 64B, so that's a perfect example. That thing is just impossible to find.
Totally impossible. And so many people want that 64B. Would it be terrible if X Plus released that as a favorite sculptor? So I know at least 15 people who want that kit. If X Plus releases it, they can get it. It may be a basic sort of stock bland paint job, but you could always send it to one of us and we could fix it up for you. We could repose it or whatever, because that's what X Plus to me are only built and painted kits that you can disassemble, repaint, repose, all that stuff.
Right, exactly.
And that's what I've been doing for years. And I know, Robert, you and I were like totally on opposite sides. You're like, no, man, you got to get the kits. This is not good. So I still like the kits, Robert. I do, but and it does fill gaps. It fills gaps. And I'm more angry when I spend a lot of money on a Sofubi figure and then it gets re-released for like pennies. That bums me out more than the model kit stuff does. Yeah. But that's a whole other show, a whole other story.
A whole other subject.
How about you, Marcellus? What is your opinion on this whole?
I was saying, being new to it, it'd be 3 years for me in March with the whole collecting period. And I've accumulated hundreds of plus in that first 2 years or so. I'll give you an example. A good friend, Michael Hing on here from New Zealand. He was buying some of my X Plus figures, and I just showed him the kits. This was just a couple months ago, and he has brought so many kits. I have lost count of what he has to send. I mean, he has just in the last couple of months just brought kits on top of kits on top of kits on top of kits, and I think it's because of the quality of the kits. I don't think it really hurts because to me, like X Plus was hidden to me. I didn't know nothing about it. I knew NECA, SH Monster Mart, and then I kept learning. So I kind of learned X Plus on my own. I knew nothing about kits until I came to G-Fest and I saw Robert's incredible Destroy Our Monster setup. And then, you know, Leslie started speaking kit language, you know, and I didn't know what it was. And so once I saw that, it just blew my mind completely open, right? And so I've been an artist for almost 30 years. I had airbrush shops, all that stuff, but I have not touched a paintbrush or artwork in, man, over 20 something years, you know, because I was in ministry. So I stopped doing it. So the kits literally brought that back out of me, you know, so I really enjoy it because it brought my hidden talent back out that I used to enjoy doing. I don't really think it hurts it too much because like I had ordered the 74 X Plus, the favorite sculptors line. I ordered that, but then not even a week later, I end up getting the MM28 74. So I canceled out the X Plus because I think it's a better quality. But then at the same time, it's kind of like what some of you guys said. If you can't, you know, I can't find a 65, but X Plus makes a 25, 65 my favorite suit, which I can't get nowhere else. You know, so I think they both play a big part with one another, depending on kind of what you're looking for. Like we can't find a 30 centimeter Ghidorah, but when we get a kit, we got a Ghidorah. So I just think it's kind of like what you're looking for. I think I love the kit world a lot better, even if I wasn't a builder, beginning to see the quality, the difference of that resin compared to vinyl. You know, and I think a lot of people, because you know, some of you guys are so amazing painting them. And we didn't really, you know, I didn't really see a lot of you guys work until like here in the last year, right? And so once we started seeing you guys work, and then I, you know, became a part of that, I think the community began to see the kits compared to the X Plus. And now everybody's like, oh my God, you know, wow, you know, y'all just opened us up to this because it wasn't popular when I first came in here only 2 years, but this last year, I have seen it hit like a wave, you know, Mark stuff, Steve stuff, Dave stuff. And so now you got some of the, you know, popular guys, I'm going to say that, popular people putting them out. So now everybody is seeing it. And it's like, yo, I'm switching over to that. And then I think it's we can put more into it than the X Plus. But, you know, it's kind of like you know, it's not really a hit and a miss to me. It's kind of like, you know, what you prefer, but I prefer the kits better. Just like, you know, I'm replacing anything that I get kit wise. X Plus is gone. You know, I have the monster. You know, I'm looking right here at the Monster Maker. I mean, at the X Plus 68, right? And so there's an X Plus 68, and then there's a Monster Maker 68. That's up. They're the same exact pose and scope. He's out of here. The X Plus is out of here. You know, because I like the resin. You know.
Jesus Christ.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, if I was to scroll my thing, I don't, you know, I'm just like the person. I don't need two of the same thing. You know, it's somebody else can use it and do better with it. Look at him.
Let me say this.
Go ahead and hurry up.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm done.
I've tried to be quiet. I really have. I've tried to be a good boy. The Lord is not through with me yet, so I apologize firsthand because you are a pastor. Okay. No, but seriously, what I want to say before we get into the final question, here's what I want to say in regards to that question, if you don't mind. Yeah. I see both sides of that argument. I can understand why some modelers may not like the fact that X Plus is kind of infringing upon their territory. it kind of makes model kits a little bit less, I guess, unique, because if X Plus does the exact same thing, it makes the model kit kind of like less unique or whatever. I can understand that. I can also see where like you have somebody like myself that has no talent in doing what y'all do. I have nor the time, nor the patience, nor the talent to do what you do. So a lot of cases, X Plus has been like a godsend for me. If I want a 1965 Godzilla, I can buy the figure from X Plus.
Exactly.
It's already built and painted. Only thing I gotta do is attach the tails. Some tails are better attachable than others. Sometimes it's easier said than done. But as of late, and I'm not trying to say this because I'm trying to be arrogant, but since I've been going more so into the kits and I've been putting them on my channel, there have been a lot of people that come to me, like Eric,
Absolutely.
even Marcellus, and say, "Hey,
Absolutely.
where did you get that?" And then I'm like, "Well,
That's
blah
what
blah
I-
blah blah
that's
blah
what I meant. Absolutely.
blah blah."
Yeah.
So I can see both sides, and
Yeah, absolutely.
it makes model kits, in my opinion, the more so better commodity, because again, there's not too many people. There's not too many people that have this Kong. There are not too many people that have the Resin Chef Mecha King Ghidorah. There are not too many people that has this Imposter Godzilla from Burlee. There are not too many people that have the KOCs. And I mean, for me, they're more of an expensive undertaking. But what I get in the end, especially from people that all of y'all are my friends, right? You know, all of y'all are my friends. The fact that I know that y'all working on it, that gives me a better state of mind. Because it's easy to go on the internet right now and grab the latest X Plus figure. But again, you can't just go online and find this guy and have it done, masterfully done like this.
Yep.
So the beauty in model kits is just that. And again, with these people right here, you know, they're passionate people, but they're fans first, because they've always been fans first. So it's nice to get your model kit done by a person that's a fan, that's not looking for a paycheck. Yes, the money helps, okay, because these guys don't work for peanuts, and why should they? But they're fans. Like they know that this Kong would have like just not one shade of brown, you know, layers of brown, you know, whatever. So in my opinion, I think X Plus is kind of like a gateway to model kits. And if it gets people more on board with the model kits, and I think this is where our community is going, more so towards the model kits and the bigger size statues, I think that's where it's going. And again, what y'all do, I mean, I can't say this enough. I know Steve has told me many times before that anybody can do this. Anybody can learn to do this. And that is absolutely true. You're not wrong. But at the same time, what God has given you, David, Steve, Mark, Burlee, Robert, and Marcellus, is a God-given talent that a lot of us just don't have. We're not blessed with what y'all can do. So that's what makes y'all more valuable. That's what makes y'all more of a high commodity in our community, and that's what make y'all basically the most sought after names when it comes to model kits. So y'all really provide a great service in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different levels. And all of you have supplied my collection with some nice, rare, one of a kind pieces that a lot of people just don't have. Eric Stoltz can say that. Phil the Kaiju King can say that. A lot of people can say that, but that doesn't happen without any of y'all doing what you do.
But
so
you know,
again,
I want to
both sides of the argument.
That's good.
I want to thank X Plus actually for something else, not just X Plus, but a lot of years ago. I started seeing McFarlane Toys coming out with this whole new elevated type of action figure, let's say.
Right.
Or I saw pre-paint statues coming, the Bowens, those Marvel Bowens. And I started seeing more high quality stuff, and it made me think, oh, it's going to be like that, huh? Okay. Well, then I better up my game because now you can't just kind of now to me, put something on the shelf. I got to up my game now and make it look even better. So through the years now, when I started seeing Sideshow and XM and all the other places,
Sideshow stuff's amazing.
Yeah, with that crazy high price stuff. And I say, okay. I'd like to add. Let's see if I can do that one better. So I thank X Plus and all those different companies for that. It's kept me.
It's true. Keep you on your toes.
The top of my kept me on my toes. Yeah.
And I behalf on Eric Stoltz and all the clients that y'all have. We thank you. Y'all have no idea how we feel when Mark sends us that UPS tracking number, or when David sends us that USPS tracking number. You have no idea the excitement that we get when we get that in a messenger, and it's like, oh God! And then when you open it, of course, with resin pieces, you're kind of like holding your breath, like you got like one lung, But but y'all deliver. Y'all truly deliver. Yes, Steve.
So I'd like to add on to what you said, a couple of things. I paint because you all enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I can happily go off on my own and not do commissions. I do it because of the reaction I get and adding something to people's lives. But what I want to say,
ditto.
That's good.
It's true. That's why I do what I do, because you all, people I paint for, enjoy it.
Absolutely.
If they didn't, I wouldn't. I'd just go off and do my own thing. But, Leslie, the thing is special because of the artist who created it and how much I love it. The thing isn't special because I have it and you can't. And I think a lot of people get upset that
true. I hate that.
It's and they're like, oh, now my value went down. To me, the value is what I love about the piece. I love this piece because it holds a special place in my heart. David, I hope you have one soon. I'm
getting one after this conversation for sure.
I get no more enjoyment from this. This doesn't add any more to my life because I have it and you can't. So that's to me why I think X Plus is filling a special role, because those who didn't know about it, those who didn't find it, those who couldn't do it themselves now get to own it. So why am I upset? Because they get to share the joy that I have every day by seeing these things.
It shouldn't be. No one should be. I mean, no one should be. Can I say one story that's going to bring this whole thing full circle real quick? So when I was in Japan in 2015, Robert Troch was selling a Yuji Sakai Godzilla 2002 Kirugoji kit, right? James Hartman emailed me in the middle of the night, David, this kit you've wanted, Robert's selling it. Oh, shoot. I woke up. I emailed Robert. Oh, someone wants it. It's on hold. I'm like, what do you mean it's on hold? What does that mean? Did you sell it or not? He's like, oh, it's pretty much sold. And it was John DeSantis, who's another modeler and a longtime fan of the stuff. John bought that from Robert. And I'm like, damn it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to find one. Years go by. I have not found one. I whispered in the ear of G Okamoto, hey, G, would it be cool if X Plus ever did the Sakai, 2002 Godzilla Kirugoji? I'm not saying that I had anything to do with it coming out, but a year or two later, that came out. I was completely stoked. I got one. It's sitting on the shelf. But guess what? Last year, X Plus decided they're going to do a vinyl model kit of that. So just like Marcellus, as soon as I get that model kit, bye-bye figure, it's going out the door, because I want to build that kit. I've wanted to build that kit for years, since 2015. And I never got the resin kit. So that, to me, that's full circle. Well, it will be as soon as I secure that kit. It's less than $200. I'll be able to find that pretty easily. Mm-hmm. But I've wanted to build my version of that Sakai Kirugoji 2002 kit since 2015. And X Plus has helped me along the way, because I could not find, not even at an astronomical price. That kit was eluded me for all these years. And anyway, that, I think that Leslie's question is basically what I went through, and that's why X Plus is good. It filled that void until I could get a kit version, which ironically enough is produced by X Plus itself. So if you guys could follow all that, I mean, it's kind of convoluted, but that's the story. That's the way, you guys all know this. I've wanted to build that damn kit, and finally I'm going to get to do it. So anyway, sorry, I had to just put that in there.
I mean, but it's also great that S Plus can provide so many different monsters, but yet there are a lot of monsters they have not done, and that's where the model kit comes into play. So you get the best of both worlds, quite frankly.
Basically, yeah.
Now let's go with the final question, and it's kind of like, let's go ahead and go with the rapid fire with this one, because this was a question that I came up with just recently, because I came across a video where a guy was talking about what are like the quintessential Godzilla films from the Showa era, the Heisei era, the Millennium era. So it got me to think about this last question. So, in your opinion,
oh
What Godzilla kit from each era? You can choose whatever era you want. You can choose Showa, you can choose Heisei, you can choose Millennium, or whatever. You pick the era, you pick the Godzilla design. But which kit perfectly personifies that Godzilla from that specific era? What kit of Godzilla himself perfectly personifies that particular era that kit is from? David, go.
So I get only one, right? One era and one kit, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. I thought about this. I gave it a lot of thought, and there's only one answer that I can give. It's got to be the KOC 40 centimeter 1964 Godzilla, because not only did they nail the pose, they nailed the face. We got clear lenses to go over the eyes, just like in the movie, and we could also switch out the heads to have an open mouth or a closed mouth. So you can't do that with you can't do that with an X Plus figure. You can't do that with hardly any of the other kits that you're going to build. As far as representing the 1964 suit, I have to go with that one. I really do have to go with that one. And for me, tying in with this, I build these kits because of my love for the films. I've got such love for these movies, and that's why I collect. That's why I'm in this fandom, because I love the movies so much. And it all stems from that for me personally. So anything that represents a movie that I love, or a scene from a movie that I love, be it X Plus or a model kit company, that's why I want to own that. Something that means a lot to me. And that's why I don't tend to buy kits or figures from movies that I don't care for or that I haven't seen yet. Right? It's got to be something that means something to me. And that's why even when Leslie said, I want you to build my 64 because I know how much you love it and you're going to do it justice. And getting back to the original question, it is that 64. It's the KOC 40 centimeter 64 with two heads you can swap out. And I love the pose. I love the sculpt. And I love the face. So that's it. Steve.
You know I'm going to break the rules. I'm doing two. I'm sorry. I have to. The Showa era. I'm old. Showa is what I grew up with. And like David, I feel the attachment to it. My favorite kit of all time. You cannot look at that kit and not see the still from the film or hear the sound, is the first Asai King Ghidorah. I owe Burlee so much for hooking me up with that kit because it's my all-time favorite kit. And it's that is that Ghidorah. It's the best Ghidorah. And I love the Hashimoto, Robert. I love you to death. Hook me up with the Hashimoto. They're going to bury me with that kit unless David gets to it first. And the second, I have to do it. For me, the quintessential kits is the Image Destroy All Monster set. Those are some of the greatest sculpts of those characters ever done. Together, it's the greatest scene. I spent like 15 years assembling that set. I owe several people on this panel for helping me finish it. They know who they are. And I will be eternally grateful because that set, once you see it, Burlee, you were going to pass on that set and you saw them. You were like, oh, wow, these are special. So that's it. That's it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow. I know Robert will agree with you.
Yeah. Most of that image set is in the Destroy All Modelers diorama.
My favorite Godzilla film of all time is, of course, Terror of Mechagodzilla. And, you know, M28 just so happens to have created the ultimate G75. So, and I got to work on like 5 of them.
Wow.
Last year. So, you know.
Yes, sir.
I didn't on each one, I didn't tire at all. I was just like, bring it on because this kit is amazing. So for me, that is the kit. It doesn't get better than that.
Okay, so for me, you know, I love M28, but I think, you know, I'm a Showa guy too, and for me, I think it's the M1 64. But I'm gonna cheat just like Steve. I actually think, and I don't own this kid, but I've seen it in person. You know, I think the big guy. I think that kid. I think if we were to just think Godzilla, I think that scope embodies everything you know about Godzilla from the Heisei period.
Hmm.
And so for me,
I agree with that. I agree with that one.
You should build one, Burlee.
I know eventually I will. I need the space, but yeah.
Don't worry, I never built one either.
Me neither.
Everyone should. Take years off your life.
Okay, I was thinking about this question a lot. I'm a Showa guy too. So I went back and forth on a lot of kits, but I don't know. I keep going back to 54 Godzilla might be still my favorite movie. So the Inoue Arts big 50 centimeter resin one. Still to me, that one holds up. It's been reproduced by Paradise, by Falchion. It was used by Mirai for the remote control one.
Right, that's right.
It's just, I never get tired of that one. So for me, I mean, if you ask me in 2 weeks from now, maybe I would change my mind. But
You mean this one, Robert?
Yep. I can't see it. Yeah. Love that one.
One of the first kits I built.
Yeah, there you go. So, and by, sculpted by Inoue himself, the godfather of Japanese Godzilla kits. So that just elevates it even more for me. So, yeah, 54.
Right on.
Inoue Arts, that's mine.
Of course, I'm a Showa guy. Got to be honest about something though. I've worked on quite a bit of kits in my short time. One of the best kits I liked that represents really good is the Monster Maker 75 from Terra Mecha Godzilla. I love that, right? But to me, my opinion, a lot of the stuff I've worked on, and it's weird because I worked on a lot of what they would call grail kits or whatever. But the sculpting of the kit, the way it was made, down to the details, the best kit I've worked on is the KOC 2000.
99. I knew it. I knew it.
This kit, man, is absolutely. And I have the M1. I have the KOC 64. I got a lot of the M1, the Monster Makers. But this kit, man, I mean, it's down to the grooves, the detailed grooves throughout the entire teeth.
It's amazing. Yep.
The detail that he put on the tongue, man. When I finished this, I was kind of upset when I was done because it was so. This thing is amazing. Like this, from the dorsals, the way this is sculpted, man, the way this thing is detailed. It is number one, and I'm not really that, the whole Millennium. I'm more so of the I love the Heisei and definitely the Showa, but the way that thing is sculpted, that KOC 99, man, is absolutely phenomenal.
Damn it! I need to get it now.
I mean, Dave, I'm not being funny. I mean, I got the KOC 64, I got the M1. Man, when I was working on this, I kept telling Leslie when I was working on it, I said, man, this has got to be the cleanest, most detailed kit I have ever had. And I got the MM64 and all that sitting right here. Nothing that I have done, even this Titanosaurus, detail-wise and scope, compares to that 99, man. That thing is incredible. You hear me? Am I lying, Leslie? That thing is absolutely, and if you worked on that, it's incredible.
Mark has. Yeah.
It is incredible, man. I mean,
Marcellus,
when you get to the open mouth one and you see the detail that he put in the teeth and the tongue.
I know. I gotta
man,
say it.
He killed it.
Marcellus, you know that Ibaraki-san is releasing it, or is in the process of releasing it in a 30 centimeter, and I think I'm
already
going to go for that
paid for
one.
Already paid for.
I think I'm going to go for that one.
The 28 one is already paid for.
Yeah.
And from what I got, the 28 centimeter that he did, he put more detail in that one than the 40. It's more detailed. From when you look at that, man, it looked like he put more in that than he did the 40.
Well, I'm getting it. Steve, we got to talk later.
Okay.
Leslie, can I cheat and give one more I talked about it earlier. Just one more, real quick.
Nope.
Too bad.
Go ahead.
Monster Maker 2864B. We talked about this in the very beginning of the show. This is another one that epitomizes the show. I mean, there's hardly any kits of the 64B, right?
It is.
Ones that are out there.
Yeah.
Some are hit and miss, but this one in particular, I just think the sculpt, the pose, the casting, everything about this is just spot on, and they nailed it. And I really do hope for everybody who wants one that X Plus will do one in their favorite sculptor line. And I'll tell you what, I don't double dip anymore. I'll probably double dip on this guy too, so I can take him outside.
Yeah.
And if I don't like the paint job, I'll touch it up, man. If I don't like the way the arms moving, I'll fix it. But this one, I had to show you guys this one. First of all, because I took it down off the shelf, and second of all, because it is that good. I know Burlee, you just did a freaking amazing job with yours.
Yeah, Burlee, you killed that thing too.
And the eyes on this were really hard for me to do. And Burlee and I did our eyes differently. So,
Dave, how long have you had yours?
Oh God, I've about 15 years. I got it when it
pass
first came
it on
out.
to me now for another 15.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
I
Let's do
mean,
30 years together,
just
bro.
just like Steve, if you want to drive out here when I'm almost done, he's yours. Come get him.
No, buddy. I've been asking you for that for years, bro.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry.
Come on now.
Okay, well, I'll share Burlee's then.
Look at that.
Look at that thing. Oh my God.
I mean, it's Burlee's eyes. He did his eyes a little different than mine. I might go back in and do my eyes differently because I like the way you have him looking up. I have the round eyes because I know this Godzilla has the really round eyes. Can you kind of see?
Yeah.
And he's still looking up, but I don't know. I was never satisfied with these eyes. I think I might have to go back in and do it again.
Killed it.
Y'all, man, y'all killing me, man. Y'all just gotta stop.
Yeah, the size 64B, and it doesn't have as exciting a pose, but it goes really well with that Ghidorah.
Which one now?
It does. The diorama I have that I've been working on forever, it has that that version. And by the way, Steve, I agree with you about the 64A, the Ghidorah. Best. It does beat the Hashimoto.
It does. Ryan Mitchell, who knows more about kits than all of us probably combined, just made a comment about the 35 centimeter Tengetsu Craft 64B. There's so few, but they're all good.
I don't even know that one. Do I know that one?
Yeah, I think that's the Tengetsu Craft. Yeah,
that's the bit. Those are the large ones. Those are the larger figures. They're a little bit loose with the sculpt, but really stylized and really great.
Really great.
Yeah,
it is.
Got it.
I got the big 73. It's crazy.
John LeGrand just finished a 66 that looks really cool. He's posted in a lot of the groups.
Yeah.
It's mine. It's coming to me.
Oh, that's
Just
yours?
saying. Oh, hell yeah. Come on now.
That 66 is yours?
It's mine. Come on now.
Oh, no.
I think that's
Look who you talking to.
Oh, let's just put it right up in here then. I mean, it's my favorite.
There it is. Oh, man.
It's my favorite suit.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the 66 suit too. Yep.
Listen, this thing was
Cocaine
hard.
Godzilla. Cocainezilla.
Yeah, man, this thing is dope. Hey, this thing is amazing. It was hard because these kits, like, and John, me and John kind of talked a little bit. You know, it don't go together right. Nope. So
yeah, I know.
You got to put a lot of work into this thing to make it right. You had
damage control. Yep.
Yeah, man, I had to do a lot with this thing. But Leslie, you're gonna love it. Somebody asked about this, and I was like, "What?"
I didn't even know you knew John LeGrand.
Listen, I hit him with a lot of. I hit him with a lot of points. I had to hit him up about the Titanosaurus.
The best sculpt that company has done is the 68. Does anybody have that?
The what?
68 Tenketsu Craft. That one is really good. No,
I saw it. I'm still a little skeptical yet. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. I'm still kind of. You have to put a lot of work into it.
Marcellus, don't have an accident now.
Yeah, but X Plus got a 68, and Monster Maker got a 68 up right now. So I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do with that in the next day or so. But yeah, those ones, that brand, man, you got to be kind of careful on what you get though, because I know Leslie did it because he saw mine, but I'm gonna leave that alone because I do
a lot of custom stuff, right? A lot of customization on that.
Yeah, I saw your drunk Godzilla, and I was like, yeah, I gotta have my chemically induced King of the Monsters.
Leslie, you gonna love it though. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
You're gonna love it. He's dope.
Honestly, I'm expecting some great box days. I got the 66 coming. I got the Mechanicon coming. And, of course, Marcellus, you doing the 84 for me. So y'all going to make me look real good on Collect All Monsters. So let me tell you thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Biggest kid in history.
Thank you. But with that being said, that's going to do it for this show. Of course, we can talk about model kits for hours and hours and hours and hours. But we're not done with the model kit coverage on Collect All Monsters. At some point, we will come back and talk about more about model kits, and we'll get more artists up here. Don't forget, we're going to do a diorama episode at some point. But again, I want to thank David, Steve, Mark Sang-Yang, Burlee, Robert, and Marcellus for being here, talking about why you love these kits, what's your process of making these model kits, the fact you have made myself and a lot of people happy. I want to thank you on behalf of myself and those people. Thank you. You have no idea. Seriously, y'all have no idea what your talent has done for us personally, for our collections, and for our lives. And the fact that y'all are personally all of my super cool best friends that I can call on and say, hey, I got a kit. Can you help me out? I got some money for you. And y'all will say yes. I really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So thank you so much. Now, before we go, does anybody have any news they want to plug? Of course, Steve been dropping news like it ain't nothing. But Burlee, if you want to talk about your 72 or anything else you got coming up, what news you got coming up? Whoever want to go first can go first.
I don't want to plug anything, but I just want to say that I've been in the game. I've been in the game this long because of all the people that, like Leslie, Eric, Adrian, especially Philip, the Keiju King. I've been in the game this long because of people like you. So, I mean, as much as you appreciate me, I appreciate you just the same. So, yeah. So
well said.
I want to know, Leslie, you got people that do your build-ups and paints for you? Do you have little plaques in front of them that say built and painted by Marcellus Winters?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, my PayPal receipts, what I paid, that's all I need. Because when I see that, I'm like, Jesus. But hey, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's so worth it. Steve or Burlee, you got any more news you want to drop on us?
Yeah. So the 72. So again, just to reiterate what I said earlier, Doc Mack is putting it out through Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, and so I believe he put up a post last week or this week that if anyone's interested in the list of kits that he has, and the 72 is on that list. So if you're interested, go ahead and hit him up. I would say it's my best kit so far that I'm putting out, and I've put out 3 or 4. And I want to thank everyone who supported me in the past, from the Imposter to the Gabra to even a very early,
67
not too great looking
7 Kong.
So, yeah. So, yeah.
Burlee, you put out the Imposter?
I did.
I got that. I got one.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I got one. I got one last week.
I said too is so much better. So.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have been able to consult with Burlee on a couple of pieces.
Yes, Steve has been so helpful.
Oh, you do all the work, and I'm always amazed. And I think I could say this about Mark. You and I never really we communicate here and there. Burlee and I are close, but I've always been amazed. This applies to you too, Mark. Every time Burlee does a piece, he makes these giant exponential jumps. Like I loved the gap.
Absolutely.
Now the 72, and I'm like, what's next? Like, I mean, you just keep moving. It's not like these little incremental leaps.
That's what I said before. It keeps getting better and
better. And it's such a good stuff. I can't wait to see what we have next. I'm very fortunate I've gotten to see the 72 in person. And like I said, I know Leslie's body might be ready, but it's up there with the greats.
I have a funny story about Steve. The first time I joined the Kit Builders Club group, I put a who did I do it for? I can't remember who I did it for. It was that skeleton the skeleton Godzilla, and it was a bootleg. And Steve had written a comment saying, "Is this a bootleg, Mark?" And I said, and I thought he was joking around because I had never read the rules, so I was like, I don't know. I was being sarcastic.
Steve's not
Steve
playing.
Like,
No.
You know very well it's a bootleg, and I was like, whoa, this guy's serious.
Yeah. that is.
So I left the group, and I was like, I don't think that guy likes me. And then years later, I returned again, and I messaged Steve, and then he was a really nice guy. So then I came back. So I just had to get that off my chest.
And I just want to add, Steve. Steve is an incredible painter. Like, I've learned so much from Steve. Honestly, exponential my painting skills. Like if you just go into Steve's message inbox, you will see that I'm constantly asking Steve, how do you paint eyes? Steve is like, I believe Steve is the best painter of like.
He's the eye guy.
He's the eye guy.
I've gone to him so many times for eye advice.
Yeah. And once you learn how to paint eyes the way, from Steve's notes, you can actually apply it to the rest of the kit. And so I've just learned so much from, how to put different layers, how to seal layers, and how to like make sure that those colors actually shine through those translucent layers of colors.
Steve, I'm gonna need your Gabra eye notes.
Yeah. Oh, the Gabra eye. All right.
Yeah, because I got one, and I'm about to do a repaint on it, and yeah.
I've got two things to say. Two announcements. One of them is, to this day, before I post a photo on the internet of my finished kit, I always run it by Steve. Steve, what do you think? And he's like, you nailed it. And then the other one, you're like, you know what? I would do that a little darker. And guess what? I went and did it a little darker because that's exactly what I was talking about. So, yes. And my second announcement is that in my mind, I spent like so much money on kits that I want to buy because you guys were highlighting them. So thanks for that. And wouldn't it be cool if we could find one kit that we all put a touch on? We all kind of worked collectively on a kit. Wouldn't that be cool? And then maybe raffle it off or something.
That would be dope.
Every one of us does their specialty. Like, I think I'm really good at dorsal plates and claws. I mean, everybody has their thing. So I think we should talk about that at a different time. But wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah. It would. I love collaborating. I love the Seiko and Minya that Burlee and I did.
Well, how about Gabra?
Gabra. I did the eyes. David.
Yeah, it's got Gabra. Yeah,
that's right.
Got Gabra. So maybe we could do one of the kits that either Burlee or Mark does, so that their hand is on it because they've built it. So we'll talk about that later. But
we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, Burlee, one last thing. Are you still working on the 65?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Marcellus. There you go.
30 centimeters scale. Yeah. It'll be in scale with all the MM28s. So, yeah.
All I know is that 72 looks, as somebody who actually loves and appreciates that suit, I just have to say that thing is like the second coming of Jesus. I just think that thing is so great. So
Samson West. Samson West is going to buy that for sure.
No, he's not. He can't afford it. Anyway, he can't afford it.
Oh, he's going to buy it.
But seriously, thank you all for being here. Thank you, everybody in the chat that has come here and been here with us. Again, we're not done with the model kit coverage. We're going to cover again at some point. But we got lots of supplemental videos coming for y'all on Collect All Monsters. Myself and Marcellus and Eric Stope and John Ruffin are going to do the Terra Mecha Godzilla discussion. Myself and David and Michael Hamilton are going to do a King Ghidorah / collectible discussion, film discussion. We're going to compare King Kong 33 versus 1954 Godzilla. That's going to be a discussion. I know Steve's going to be a part of this. We're going to do
part of that one.
Okay.
You know this, man.
Yeah, and Steve and we're gonna get together, have a King Kong collectible discussion. You know what I'm saying? I want to have Burlee back. I know he will come back. Robert, you're more than welcome to come back. Of course, Mark saying Yang and Marcellus, when you're not trying to trap Batman, you're more than welcome to come back. Okay, you're more than welcome to come back. But seriously, thank you to David, thank you to Steve, thank you to Mark, thank you to Burlee, thank you to Robert, and thank you to Marcellus and everybody in the chat for being here. We really do appreciate it. Now
thanks,
I'm gonna
Leslie,
do what.
And thanks, Kyle.
Thank you. Now I'm gonna do what Kyle does at the end of every single episode of Collect All Monsters. Again, I can't do it as epic as him because he has that deep radio, Barry White type of voice. But I'm gonna try and do a 1.5. All right, we're done. Thank you so much for watching this episode. So, in the meantime, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated, the monsters are in revolt, and civilization is in chaos. We must unite. Say it with me. And collect all monsters. We're gone. Woohoo!
Thanks, guys.